Yeah, you can hear me now? Me a sound check early out the gate, early out the gate. Yes, I changed some cables and well, I ain't gotta tell you, but let me pull it for the top, man. We gonna come again, man. Greetings in the name of his and her imperial majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Empress Reserve Menin. Y'all already know one perfect balance. Yes, yes. Loud and clear now. Give me some thumbs up and some feed forward. Let me know. Let me know. Sorry about the muted thing. I've been doing some changes, as y'all can see. There's been some changes, few changes, and yeah, what used to be the computer over here, uh, now air freshener. Well, air fresh, well, technically, and some documents, some review. But we've been doing some stuff. We want to make some change. The mic is still here, but we're making some changes. 2023 promises to be a whole different year, and so yeah, we've been working on that. We've been working on that. The change is important. Change is necessary, and we've been working on changing. So all I'm gonna tell you is that there's some new stuff coming out in 2023. Pay attention. My daughter's plait my hair and all kind of stuff, guys. I don't know. Anyhow, I love it. But I want to do something a little different tonight. I sent a message. Oh shucks, I don't even know if he responded. I sent a message out to an individual, and yeah, and so hopefully he said he's going to come on. You know how it is sometimes. They always say yes, so they make a phone call and ask permission, and that don't be granted. But anyhow, let me see how that goes. So we're going to do a year in review. So I've tried my best to pull some significant points out of this year, politically incorrect interviews and sessions to share. And while I was going through the different footage, different videos, yo, yo, 3 videos a week for a whole year. Man, there are hundreds of videos. There's a few. I didn't even realize it. Like, wow. But when I was going through the information, I found myself sitting, rather than cue them up the way I was supposed to be doing my work, I found myself sitting back listening and writing notes and doing research. Like, yo, wow. Listen, this is like a whole college, it's like a university lecture. I mean, this is a Smithsonian. You could go and pick anyone. There's so much information that was shared via politically incorrect. And thanks to the inbox crew, the research team is amazing. Thanks for the links. Thanks for the videos. Thanks for everyone who shared. That's all I could tell you, man. Y'all been great. You've been dynamic. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And yes, I realize a lot of people do share. Really appreciate that. Some watch and don't share. I also see YouTube, which is strange because this the way this is set up, they let you know who is doing what, which I think is a bit crazy, but it's all good. Don't mind you smile when you see me. It's all right. I know you're in sharing shit. It's all right. Ain't no issue. My point is, did you get the message? It's all right. The point I want to make tonight, though, which I think is fascinating, is that I try to pull some stuff out. I couldn't possibly do it, but I'm going to share this with you from the top. So while I go and do that, go tell a friend and tell a friend. We're gonna drop a little sizzler real quick, and then we're gonna get sizzler. I think do I have sizzler? No, no, it is sizzler. It's pressure, pressure. I gotta give thanks and praise to the divine force that makes this possible for the I and I as a Rastafari. Is only right. I can't do it no other way. Folks always tell me, why you go up on reggae and things like, look, man, I was a Rasta man. I listen to all kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, I was a Rasta man. You know what I mean? You tune into a Rasta liberty, you know what I mean? It's evidently clear the sovereignty is here, and this is where I be. You know, ain't no disrespecting nobody, man, you know, but it's music for the soul, man. There's a message in the songs. I hope y'all just don't skim through it, but be listening to it. So having said that though, definitely want to go and bust a pipe real quick. So while I go and do this, go tell a friend and tell a friend. Politically incorrect is up and running. Yes, yes. Who is worthy? Who is worthy? It's you, man.
Who is he who sits up in Mount Zion? King Haile Selassie first, the King of Kings, he is the conquering lion. Yeah. King Haile Selassie first, all praises be to His Majesty.
God pull out. Self-explanatory, family. Pressure bus pipe. Who is worthy?
Need to be praised, I know.
That's the side, man. Tell a friend.
Who is he who sits up in Mount Zion? King Haile Selassie first, the King of Kings, he is the conquering lion.
Conquering lion in the tribe of Judah.
King Haile Selassie first, all praises be to His Majesty. King Haile Selassie,
Rastafari.
the wonderful counselor is the Prince of Peace.
Prince of Peace, man.
King Haile Selassie first, the Rastaman Jadan, him still Jadan. His own divine majesty still live on. Me tell you, be meek and joy will come in the
Be meek, be meek.
in a your army, your chief in a command. No one who was beyond or beneath the earth was worthy.
Yes.
That's the far I govern Arar from the age of 30. Then crown him king of kings in 1930. 72 nation witness this end.
Rastafari.
It's he who sits
72 nations witness this thing.
King
72 nations witness the crowning
of kings. He is the
of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering lion, the tribe of Judah.
all praises
Out like what I don't know.
His Majesty.
Fire.
King Haile Selassie,
Rastafari.
the full counselor is the Prince of Peace. Yeah, King Haile Selassie first. Red, here as pure as one.
Yes.
Garment dipped in blood.
Yes.
God in the flesh, the same one me say we cause the flood. There will be no sub. The throne could not be touched. Greater David, greater
Listen to the message. Listen to the message.
the man, Queen Omega at his side. True divinity, man, woman, and child, power of the Trinity.
Power of the Trinity.
Selassie, I
Could never die.
Yeah, yeah. Who is he who sits up in a Mount Zion? King Haile
Haile Selassie first.
the King of Kings, he is the conquering lion.
Yes, family.
King Haile Selassie first.
All
All praises be His own divine majesty. King Haile Selassie first.
Yes, yes, yes.
Counselor is the Prince of Peace.
Power of the Trinity, man.
King Haile
Man, woman, and child.
first. It's a long
You
road.
don't know nothing else.
Road Rastafari carry a ton load. Not take the wrong road. It's been a long way,
A long way.
but all I know is one way.
But one way, man.
Yeah.
Selassie I way.
It's Selassie, he's the ancient monarchy. Call him Haile Selassie, a protector of the universe and humanity.
And humanity. Protector of the universe and humanity.
Zion, King Haile Selassie first, the King of Kings, he is the conquering lion. King Haile
Conquering lion, man.
first, all praises be to His Majesty. King Haile Selassie
Yes,
first,
family.
the wonderful counselor is the Prince of
Wonderful counselor, the Prince of Peace,
King
man.
Haile Selassie first.
Yes, family. Big tune. I can put that link up for those who want to just, take in the message a little later on in the evening when you're home, your family. Just add that to your playlist, man. That tune there, so it's one. Look, first thing in the morning, that tune, more often than not, first thing in the morning, that's the tune I listen to. First thing, come on, man. It just there, click it, man. Chant and praise and just skillily bing, skank and just all the meds. Anyhow, family, give thanks for tuning in. Those on YouTube, those on Politically Incorrect personal page. I don't think I shared it to my personal page. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick while we at it, because some folks do tune in. On Emmanuel Borrelia, imagine that. It started off as a joke, man. Now, it ain't a joke no more. All no. Yeah, we just tell a friend to tell a friend. Right. Bam. Got it clear. I just want to say again, thanks to all those who definitely tune in, man, and make this thing happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Energy to you. Much love, respect to you all. And, Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And can't say it no other way. Just, gratitude. It's y'all that make this whole thing possible. Couldn't do this without the ones that tuning in. And there's a lot of stuff though I was going through. I could not believe it. It was like, where do we start? Where do we start? A year in review. 2022 was a year of revelation, a year of exposure, and 2023 is a year of prosperity, a year to receive. You know what I mean? So we plant, now we sow, now it's time to reap. So 2023 is a year to receive what you put out in 2022. It was that kind of energy. So where do we start? Well, we started this around this time last year with discussions and talk about an election. If y'all remember correctly, there was a lot of chatter about a snap election being called, and unfortunately, a lot of folks were caught not ready. Well, unfortunately, that's where we found ourselves. And it was this time that Politically Incorrect had a few videos up on his page. And I can't believe this, man. This is just crazy. Nevertheless, that's what we're going to do, family. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure that we can at least come together on a few things. So I want to just highlight a few things really quick, right? Just a few things. I think it's only right that we start with, well, I think it's this one. This one, I hope we got them all in the right order because just here pile up. Just here pile up. I got them lined up. Let me see if you got the right order. Is this one? Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one for sure. For sure. Yeah. Let me go ahead and extend this full page. Yeah. So we're gonna start with this one first. And I'll probably put the links up as well so that folks could see as well. All right, let me open this up. Let me put some volume on this.
Hello. My name is Montague William III. And what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and a big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife. We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars and fashion and plasma TVs. I remember it clearly how all this begun. Family secrets from father to son, inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you people lie sleeping at night in your bed.
Mm-hmm.
We control the money that controls your lives, whilst you worship false idols and wouldn't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun. These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets, safe in the knowledge that I have it all, while you common people are losing your jobs. You see, I just hold you in utter contempt. But the smile on my face, well, it makes me exempt. For I have the weapon of global TV, which gives us connection and invites empathy. You would really believe that we look out for you, while we bankers and brokers are only a few. But if you saw that, you'd take back the power. Hence, daily terrors to make you all cower. The panics, the crashes, the wars, and the illness that keep you from finding your spiritual wholeness. We rig the games, and we buy out both sides to keep you enslaved in your pitiful lives.
Keep you enslaved in your pitiful lives. Well, like I said, the video links, I'm going to post that. You got to go and watch the rest if you want to go watch the rest and go from there. And let me taxi down the road. Links, I'm going to post the links as I go along. This is a good place to start, right? We set the stage. Having said that, To my brothers and sisters observing today as that sacred day, Shabbat Shalom to you and the family, those tuning in, those who plugged in here and abroad, and who will watch now, who will watch later. Assalamu alaikum to the brothers of the faith. Peace and Islam to the Moors. Y'all already know. Hotep, Ashe to the conscious community. Namaste to the brothers out in the east. My brothers and sisters throughout the region, throughout the world. Y'all already know. Rastafari. And to everybody else, love and light, man. Love and light. Welcome again to Politically Incorrect. This year was kind of thing that, didn't even seem real. The kind of events that unfolded didn't even seem real. It was just one thing after another after another. And all we could do is basically try to keep up. And I mean, keeping up, we tried. Keeping up, some of us did. Not too many. And by keeping up, one of the things that had happened is that we had two individuals who are party to this page. Well, guess what they did? They made a dash for it. And I mean, to be very frank, it I don't want to say it didn't work. It worked, but how? We had the brother Phil and the sister, what's her name? Tate, Melissa, who actually got involved in the running of the snap election. They got involved, and some things happened. One of the major things that happened in January was our very own brother Phil, and what Phil did is historic, and I think it needs mentioning. I think it wouldn't be fair to not mention what was done, and I won't play the whole thing, but I'll just play the initial part of what happened outside the courtroom in Barbados in January. This was
people who were left off the recollection after the 2018 election. So, but I could be wrong about it, but just in my recollection.
well, what he's saying here, family. And let me just go and pause.
Well, I think the judge did what she had to do. I'm not pleased about it, but I accept her verdict at this point until my attorney and myself have an opportunity to discuss the final points of it. I think it's a slap in the people's face of Barbados. I think all those people are disenfranchised that will not be allowed to vote based on a snap election that is not necessary at a time that is not the best. So saying all of that, we're not backing down. We're going forward. The election will take place tomorrow, but we'll let it play itself out. Thank you.
He said, "We let it play itself out." Spoken like a true general. I mean, Phil went ahead and filed an injunction in the Supreme Court, charging him for wrongly having this election and excluding hundreds, if not perhaps even thousands of people because of the whole COVID restriction and whatnot. And he questioned it. And although he was right in his questioning, of course, the court came up with some Mickey Mouse. And I got to say Mickey Mouse, because it was obvious the duck. I mean, the only thing was missing was Daffy in this Disney production. And it was a Disney production because on the day of the hearing, at midday, while the judge was deliberating or having conversation, trying to figure out what to do, because he had the grounds to stand on, our prime servant announced on the radio what she predicted the outcome to be, which is funny. But nevertheless, that's a story for perhaps history and some inquiry perhaps sometime in the future. But they didn't actually respect it. They came, like I said, with some Mickey Mouse story. And here it is now. We're almost a year later. And quite frankly, that case is still pending. Can you believe that? The case is still pending. So that goes to show you, man, regardless to how, there are forces at play here in this island that we can kind of see don't really have the best interest of the people. They might say they do, but they clearly don't. And that's obvious. I think I think because of these things, we the people need to. How should I put it? Well, I'll tell you how another gentleman put it. I think that's the best thing to do. I'll go to another footage really quick. Let me just go pull him up. Like I said, I was here watching. I don't want to say I have all of them specifically in the order, but I believe I should be able to pull it off nevertheless. Where is that one now? Here we are. But based on what I'm wearing, I would know. Yeah. Based on what I'm wearing, I would know which is which and what's what. Wait, I'm not even finding it. Is it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Let's see what this. There you go. That was easy. Y'all might remember this one here. The brother came from South Africa, well, born in Zimbabwe, Brother Joshua Maponga. Yes, the third. And how should I say, man? Maponga dropped some knowledge on us. When Maponga just came and dropped the knowledge, I want y'all to listen to what Maponga was saying. And I think this is important because if you're going to have elections and we're going to have government and political parties come and play this political game where it seems that the people don't really have a say in what's going on, and all that's happening is you're being told ever so often, well, this is what we're doing, you got to obey. Well, this is what we're doing, you got to obey. If all that's being told is that you got to obey, you got to obey, you got to obey, this is what's going on. Taxes, 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 loans, 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 more taxes, more taxes. Maponga had some advice, and I like the advice because this is going to be important later on in this program. Pay attention to what Maponga had to say here.
There's a question from Ideal Ideas where they are saying we are claiming, but they are refusing to pay. I have a solution for that also. If they refuse to pay, it is simple. We simply take their multinational companies that are in our jurisdiction and we make sure that no penny out of their business leaves our countries. We literally hold their own companies in our countries ransom to pay those debts. Simple. Because they are fully invested in our countries. So if they don't want to pay from outside, we'll make their children pay. Look at what we did in Zimbabwe. What we did in Zimbabwe, we simply take off their land. We take our land. We take our land and we invest it to ourselves. And when you take land, you own. So if they refuse to pay, you simply take back your land. Because those factories are sitting on your land. Those houses are sitting on your land. So we are not taking your house. We are just taking your land. We are just taking our land.
I like it. Not taking the factory. We're just taking the land. That happens to be on my land. Listen. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm telling you, you cannot make this stuff up. Maponga came and said it straight. You know, if y'all missed the interview with Joshua Maponga, I'm telling y'all missed something major, something epic. The brother, I mean, again, go back, take a look, take a look. It's a must. It's a must. You got to go and check these videos out. I mean, so he's saying, take the land back. You're not taking the house. They built the house on your land. That's not your problem. We're taking the land back. And this is the conversation that I'm telling you we need to have. And I'm going to show you in a minute how deep this thing gets. I'm actually going to show you right here live, how real this is. Kid you not. Matter of fact, did I delete it? Let me see. If I delete, let me go to history real quick. Let me go pull this page back up because I did delete it. But I go pull it right back up. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. I did delete it. Okay. I'm going to pull it back up though. I could find it in the history. It shouldn't be too difficult to find. Okay, it might be a bit difficult to find. But I'll pull it back up. I'll get it. I will get it. History. It can't go nowhere. I just got to click on history. We're going to go on all the history. And I'm just going to scroll down here real quick. Go back here. There you go. See, boy, technology is something, man. Telling you, this thing is no joke. No joke. But anyhow, I found it. So, Rastaman, I see you, man, for sure. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Listen, go tell a friend and tell a friend. I want to show you all some stuff in a minute. I'm telling you, you want to share this. It's deep. Joshua said, take the land back like they did in Zimbabwe. I think it's high time the Caribbean, not just Barbados, the Caribbean. Once Barbados set that ball rolling, it's going to start to roll. And I guarantee you that now is the time to start doing this. Now, we don't care about no new constitution. That applies to them, and they know who they are. That don't apply to us. We want what's ours, and we want it now. But 2022 was that kind of year. Like I said, and Joshua broke it down and set the record straight. I mean, he came and he set it straight. You know, it's unfortunate, but matter of fact, you know what? Let me share this one as well. Let me go here. There was another footage at the time, and we were discussing some stuff. A replica of myself is here with us. Yeah, right there. Look, you got something to say. Let's have a listening to what this brother had to share on Politically Incorrect.
What I find, however, is that a lot of people are afraid. And that's what I keep seeing. A lot of people are afraid. Not that they don't know what's going on, not that they're not aware, but they are afraid. Which is funny because the call a snap election kind of implies that the prime servant and her camp perhaps might be afraid. Now, why would I say that? What would they have to be afraid of? I mean, they got the resources, they got the seats already, they got the, why would they be afraid? What would cause them to be afraid? Well, uncertainty. Uncertainty. People talk about the climate of the nation, the climate of the country. Well, if you're in tune and you're paying attention, you can already feel and figure out that people not feeling you. You walk into, you at work, your staff, the staff office, and you're a couple of colleagues don't really, see eye to eye, or they, might have a difference or opinion on certain work ethics or whatever the case is. So you go in the staff room now to get your lunch, and you walk in the room, there's a conversation going on. And as soon as you walk in the room, the conversation ends. You ever have one of those moments? The conversation ends, and then, you feel this sense of awkwardness looming in the ear, in the room. It's like so dense in some cases, you can probably cut it with a knife.
You can probably cut it with a knife, he says. I don't know why they call it snap election, but I think now, in light of all that has happened in 2022, from the digital IDs, the whole vaccine, the thing with the children, the thing with the schools, I mean, there's so much different things that happen that shine such a negative light. We're not even going to talk with the JS situation. I might just run right through that, because how could we not? It'll take up the whole evening. So many things happen that it kind of makes sense why they call it. Somebody knew what was coming. Somebody knew what was coming. I'm telling you. And because of that, man, they ran for the hills. They ran for the hills. Iconic moments, man. That's iconic moments. These are the things that were going on in Barbados in the month of January. Now, we won't go through all the months, all 12 months, and what time is it, in the interest of time, but we will share certain things. And like I said, the pages are there to go back to review. Feel free to do so. I'll put it up again. Like I said, it is just one of those situations where I could not believe it, realizing that we had done so much work. It was like, so much work in that one space of time. One of the other, I think it's only right to give this sister some footage. As a matter of fact, I'll open that up and I'll share that instead. Let's go here real quick. We won't share all of it, but I'll tell you what. This young lady took it upon herself.
You're lagging and causing productivity to be at an all-time low. But yet still
Let me pause it. Let me say this about this young lady. If y'all have never heard of Melissa Tate, I don't know if she has her page still up. She was running as an independent initially. She done a lot of groundwork. She actually wrote her own manifesto. Has some great ideas. She met with a few other individuals that were other independent parties, and one guy, Granville Phillips, I think was his name, had well, he had encouraged her to come, perhaps maybe merge with him. I don't know if that was such a good idea. Yes, and I'm saying that on the record because I still watch her on her own without support of him or any of the other individuals that he was supporting. She hit the ground in St. George, going from door to door, helping people, talking to people, interacting with people, had a whole open campaign, open there and whatnot. CBC came up, and this is CBC here, by the way, interviewing her on the site. And her message was missed, man. She had so much to offer. And it's like, wow, it was such a proud feeling and such a proud moment that, somebody stepped up. Like, you know what? I'm not afraid, and stepped up. A lot of people, like I said, have concerns. I ain't want to lose a little pick. I get it. I get it. I get it. And it's okay. Because in Gideon's army, y'all know, some were afraid. We're going on back home. And a shame in that. We understand. You go and sit back. But this sister right here stepped up, had a lot to say. And I want to play a part of what she had to say. And we ought to listen to it. And again, it's on the page. Go back and look it up. Go listen to what this young lady had to say. It is serious food for thought.
You're asking us to stay the course after telling us before to watch you. And what did we watch you do? We watch you hire consultants from all sorts of places and overlook Barbadians who are well qualified and certified to do the jobs. We watch you bring in people to the West Indies. We see you bringing senators from overseas and give them jobs that they just could have gotten in a situation where we have a high unemployment rate. We watch you travel the world and talk to many people in fancy meetings and conferences, and you tell them all plans and decisions you had, and people at home in your country, they're struggling. We are asking Barbadians, what course are we supposed to stay on really? What is the course that we are staying on? Why should we give a people a mandate again after they quit their job a whole 17 months ahead of the maturity of their contract without giving us an explanation? So I'm saying that St. George North don't really have no representative. They were appointed a representative. They voted for that representative because they knew what the previous representative had done and the strides that person made in their community. But the representative that came to defend their cause or came to their plight, they never turned up on the job after they were elected. So St. George North don't have a representative, and I'm saying that I will be that representative for you.
Wow, I love it.
What's the feedback you're getting from
She said, I will be that representative
Well,
for
the
you.
feedback that I received from people when I went to just discuss with them my manifestos, they were telling me, we're glad to see you because we didn't see the last person. Some person said that we voted for that individual because of the merit that came from the individual before. But we were disappointed because some people say they called and they never got back answers. So when I then introduced them to my policy of the organization of single parents, which we decided as Solution Barbados that we will put $100,000 into that account. And we encourage all our constituency representatives to be able to make a payment into our account through SurePay. If we are 9,000 people or more strong in St. George North, and we each pay $10 to SurePay on a week, that's $90,000 into our account. Now that account is to be there for when children need to go back to school after 2 years of being in the pandemic where their parents and all their resources have dwindled. That account is for our people in St. George North to tap into and be able to send their children back to school.
Listen, she got plans. I'm telling you all, go listen to Melissa Tate. Go listen to Melissa Tate. I'm telling you, man, go listen to Melissa Tate. Let me copy this and put this in the comments as well. Let me just share this one. Like I said, it's all there, man. It's all there. It's all there. Go check it out. Go check it out. I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. Go. It is all right there for everyone to see. Everything is right there. Go check this sister out right here. Politically Incorrect. This was a live footage I've done. So just scrolling through the videos, you can't go wrong. You'll find it. You can't miss it. This is the thumbnail. She said they quit 17 months before the maturity of the contract. You heard the language? The sister know what she's talking about. They left St. George, abandoned St. George. That lady got the spot because of how she got the spot. Y'all already know. She never. I mean, anyhow. Go check this out, family. That's all I got to tell y'all, man. Go check that out, man. St. George had a lot to say. People had a lot to say, and a lot more had to be done. And at this point, family, that's what's up, man. You know, people stood up. People got tired of sitting down, and people started to stand up. People started to stand up, and that's what mattered most, man. The people standing up, and I'm happy to see that. I really am happy to see that. And so, let me just get that out of there. One of the other things I wanna, should I put this one? This was in January too, and I don't think we understood the science of it, but yeah, I think I need to put this up. I think I need to put this up as well. Let me just go here one time, and the reason I'm going to go here is because we tend not to remember. That's right, Andrea. She's amazing. So many things didn't turn in her favor or other serious independence. Listen, man, I saw the work she was putting in on the ground. I was there myself personally. I saw companies came to her aid. I saw businesses in Barbados pledge to help and assist her. I mean, even look, people that you wouldn't even expect. I got a shout out to the close brethren as well, and I won't get in too much in calling names at this point. But like I said, people turn out. People showed up to help, and so it's a sign. That was look the election, what they call the election, and I've learned so much just by observing and kind of bluffing my involvement. I gotta say bluffing because I never get past registration. It's just funny. It's funny because I realize I know why, man. It's always somebody making a phone call and then they come and tell me, nah, you can't. Nah, we're not accepting that. Anyhow, another conversation for another time. But I'm so thankful because it showed me so much. And yeah, it made me stronger, made me wiser. But you're right, Andrea. But this thing about the IMF and the government with the IMF, again, people are sitting back because it doesn't directly affect them yet. Although a lot of people see that a lot of stuff is happening, not too many people want to get up and say certain things. But let me just go ahead and share this other clip real quick, just in part, because I think it's important that we really grasp this thing called IMF. Watch this.
First of all, you go to the private banking system and you see, well, can I get a private banking loan? Because I'm strapped for cash and need some support and I'm having trouble paying my overseas bills.
When the private banks won't lend to you, then you've got to do something if you're leader of a country. And typically what you've got to do is to cut back your spending in some way and try and get more money so that the impact of those cutbacks are not as severe as they otherwise would be. And it's at that point that you generally come to the IMF.
What you really need is to sit down with them and say, look, can I work out a 5-year program? And in the meantime, I'm strapped for some cash. So can you help me up front get out of the cash bind and then put it in the context of a long-term development plan? And they said, no, long-term development is your problem. We are here only to see who do you owe the money to, why are you in a bind, and we'll lend you some money in a very short time frame at full interest rate to get you out of the bind. And they then impose upon you tremendous restrictions in what you can spend.
And then we reach agreement on the set of measures on the budget, on the exchange rate, on monetary policy, on interest rates, on banks, on maybe privatization, and say, yep, we think this could solve your problem.
And you say to them, but if I do it that way, when I finish repaying you, I'm going to be in the bind all over because this can't solve my problem. They said, not our problem.
The whole idea was to set conditions which the government could not meet. And when the government failed to meet them, you would have to renegotiate a new loan in which the conditions became tighter. So the IMF didn't say, cut out this education program or cut out this health program. What the IMF said is, you must spend only so much money on health and education. And the implication of that was that you had to cut out some programs.
Essentially, what the IMF wanted us to do was to devalue our currency. That's the first thing, to make our dollar cheaper.
They needed to expand their exports and diminish their imports. And the best way of doing that is to make foreign currency more expensive.
And since our society is so heavily dependent on imported food, imported fuel, imported books to go to school, imported medicine, when we devalue, the cost of those things we import go up to the citizens.
Okay, see? You see? You heard that, right? Now, let me just say this real quick. This video is also available on the page. Go listen to it again, understand what's happening, because first of all, Barbados dollar is tied to US dollar, which is backed by nothing. And what he's explaining is how they get you. Now, don't mind a lot of talk with IMF coming in Barbados and we repaying and this and that and third and the fourth and getting new loans and stuff. There's so much stuff going on here. So much that despite they claiming that it's been deferred for another 5-10 years, all the other stuff, understand that gives them room to do the things they need to do and get out of duds before everything hit the fan. Let me show you what I mean by that. One of the other things we had involved in Politically Incorrect was our very own resident from next door. Now, don't forget, the elder Bishai is one of our, he's been on here several times with plenty of information. One of the things he talks about is food security. Food security. But before we get to the brother Bishai, y'all remember what happened in Canada? Anybody remember what happened in Canada? Where the government actually seized people's accounts, stopped them from buying food. See all this, stop them from buying food, stop them from being able to send money to Western Union and MoneyGram and these cash apps and stuff, all because of what? What was going on in Ontario, the truckers convoy. Y'all remember that? It's almost as if these things just disappeared. You don't hear nothing anymore. We had our own affiliate coming out, Opa Day. We got to give a shout out to Opa Day and her son. Let's tune in real quick to hear what Oprah had to say, what's going on in Canada, and how it affected us in the Caribbean.
Their parties are done.
That's
because
right.
if on a provincial level, their parties are done with, and the people now, boots on the ground, is taking back every province with a new party, all of those MPPs are going to see the writing on the wall.
That's
At a
right.
federal level, their party is done.
Done.
That's
And
right.
the people is not asking you to get their freedom back. They're taking it back by making
right.
your party be non-existent.
That's right.
We're gonna let your party bleed out. We're gonna
That's
make
right.
it just a memory in the pages of history. Once upon a time, there was a liberal government. Once upon a time, there was an NDP government. And they ended in the year 2022. How did we end it? Where they're no longer relevant. The people realize that each of those parties have been compromised and they no longer are in the best interest of the people. They are there to have a totalitarian type of merger of fascism and communism. Is like a hybrid. And they are there to rule like the pharaohs and the czars of the old times. And the people are not asking for Moses's. We're not looking for leaders anymore to say, let my people go. No, we're done with that story. Been there, done that. We have the scripture passage and verse for that. The people now are telling Pharaoh, you got to let us go. We're not even asking you. We're going to make you no longer relevant. How we're going to do that? We're taking back and we're making you not even existent. You're going to be like some of these famous dynasties that we just read about. They don't exist anymore, Liberal Parliament, NDP, PNP, LPP, whatever.
BLP, I hate to have to say it, DLP, whatever. Be done with them, all of them. Unless some magic is done and they respect the indigenous folks, be done. Y'all days are numbered. Straight up. I mean, she made it very clear. Like, listen, all four corners of the globe, you're hearing this same message. People are fed up. Poor people fed up. Enough is enough, family. We reached that point. So imagine we do all these imports from food, medication, parts, equipment, medical supplies, all kind of stuff, medication, all this essential stuff we import. But here's a problem. If we keep importing all this stuff over and over and over and over, what ultimately happens to us in the long run? One of the most important things that we've been importing, and we've been importing this stuff since time memorial, is food. No matter all the other stuff, these are all important, but none more important than food. Because everything is hinged on everybody being able to survive and strive. Thriving if not from your own, but it's something backyard farming to say. I don't know how often or how long that would work unless you have crops planted in such a way where you can continually reap. I think backyard farming is an absolute joke. That's what I'm saying. And that's not based on the fact that backyard farming is a joke. Backyard farming is good if you got land to farm. If you got 10 drums in your backyard and the rest is concrete, and you're trying to grow food for your family in 10 drums, even if you can grow food in 10 drums, how you plan to plant this stuff? You're going to stagger it with some other folks who y'all in the same kind of mindset, so that when your crop finally comes and yields, you got to plant again. But between planting and harvesting again, it's time. What you plan to do between there? You know, how we backyard farming requires space. This idea of planting food in a blue barrel and you're gonna feed your family for the year is such an insult to the fact that they stole your land. I'm gonna give the people the land back, let them plant food on their land and have community farming instead of just one individual in one household trying to balance a blue barrel and a couple water bottles with chives and thyme. Anyhow, that's another conversation. But our brother came in and dropped some science, man, as per usual. Our resident on Bishai regarding food. Let's hear what Bishai had to say about that. And be all the way in March already.
A very important brother was speaking here.
Yes, nice.
Nice. Good night again, family. What's my take? Repeat the question. Repeat it.
Well, for security, because the reality is this, you know, the whole Ukraine thing going on, the whole COVID. First of all, COVID disrupts stuff already. COVID already disrupts stuff. The cost of shipping goods right now, I think the price went up again. I heard Biden complaining about the cost of shipping. It's a big issue. Goods ain't moving. This is before the Ukraine situation or the Ukraine situation. We call it a situation, really and truly. So with all this going on, how does the Caribbean, what do you think the Caribbean is in store? What's in store rather for the Caribbean in next coming months and years?
Okay, great. Grateful for the opportunity to respond to that. Now, listeners, family, problem plus context equals opportunity. We have a problem. You just heard the brother speaking about it, and you can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will try to outline the context now in deep. But right now, you heard about the increased prices of fuel in the region. And it's not too far from your prices that the prices are here in Europe. Not too far. It seems like they have some hydraulic spring that they just go up every day. A little higher, you know? So the people are realizing that. And the context right now in the region, in the world, and I'm stating from a couple hours ago, an official position put out by one of the highest organizations in the Western world. It says, just a small part I'll read. Rising global demand for agricultural commodities for use as food, feed, and bioenergy. And I add to that medicine. It's putting pressure on the land. The pressure on the land is increasing. So that is the context, right? And the article is actually calling for an increase in agricultural output. Now, this question and this reason comes at the prime time because they, as you will call them, the prime servants, and some of our people here call them the misleaders in the CARICOM. If we can still say it, community and reach anyway at CARICOM, had their annual get-together in Belize. And just the nature and the aesthetics of where they had this get-together show you that they're not with the people. Somebody from Belize called me and told me that they went on an exclusive island just off the coast of the mainland, which is a private resort.
Wow.
Away from everybody else and had their tete-a-tete.
Wow.
So you know that they think that they're different than the masses of the people. That's one.
They had their little powwow.
Right.
Okay.
Now, since 2018, these talking heads, as the Calypsonian and St. Vincent called them years ago, talking heads, that's all they do, have been speaking about the same thing we are speaking tonight about food security. I have listened to that. They have not moved 1 foot forward. They're just marking time in the same place.
Just marking time in the same place. You see my point? People are paying attention. A lot of talk, nothing happened. And I've dealt with several farmers on the ground throughout the region, including Barbados, believe it or not, who have shared some stories with me, man, is like, and the ministry don't do nothing to help that situation. It's like, can't believe this stuff, man. You can't make it up. Food is going to be potentially a challenge in the not too distant future. And I always tell people there's plenty of land around the place. The idea that Owenat, I think, had said backyard farming, start growing food in backyard. I think he was really trying to encourage you to grow food. I agree. Plant food in your backyard. Don't get me wrong. Whoa a minute. Don't get me wrong. Plant whatever you got to plant in your backyard. But don't limit yourself to your backyard. That's all I'm saying. Don't let nobody put it in your head that all you need is your backyard and you satisfied with that. Nah. We're not accepting that. You got land that you took, we taking it back. It's that simple. One way or the other, we coming for it. One way or the other. Whether you converse about it or we take it, the land coming. Land is coming. And speaking of land and speaking of coming, this is where it gets ticklish right here. And this is where I gotta say this, man. This is where it gets ticklish. Y'all remember? Let me see if I can pull it up now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. I said I was going to do it earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. So I've been doing some research, and y'all already know. We spoke about this in one of my programs as well, and I think I'll go ahead and show you that as well. I'll go ahead and pull that one up. Let me pause that. Let me go ahead and pull that up, because if I don't pull it up, you ain't gonna believe this. But not that you wouldn't believe this. I think it's important that you see this for yourself. I think sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think a picture's worth definitely 1,000 words. In this case right here, it is definitely worth a lot. So let me just go ahead and pull this up so y'all can see this for yourself. First hand, not even second hand, but first hand. Should I do this one or this one? I'll do this one first. Let me go ahead and share this, man. Y'all see that, right? It didn't come up. This didn't come up. This didn't come up. Now, let me just go back first. View the tab. Let me just go back. You notice that didn't come up, right? Okay. Let me switch this. Y'all remember this one? We did a program on the glebe. It's called Notice to Quit. The restitution of land. I think y'all need to go and watch that one again for sure. And by the way, the government rent those schools from the church. So the church getting a check from the government, from the Ministry of Education, taxpayers' dollars. Yeah, man. The school, yo, man. The government rents these facilities from the church. The church don't need your type of offering, you know. They don't need your type of offering, family. Don't get tapped with this thing, you know. They do not need your tithe and offering. I'm telling you that for a fact. They do not need it. The amount of money they hold on to will blow your mind if you even knew. Well, speaking of which, let me just put it in perspective then, since I brought it up. The amount of money they're holding on to would blow your mind if you only knew. Well, let me just give you a quick glimpse of what it is. Those churches, by the way, are what we call in Barbados the Anglican Church. The Anglican Church. And these particular churches are spearheaded by the church in England. You know, they're all connected. But I want to just this is a website. You can go on, Properties Finances of the Church of England. You can go on it and see. And you get to scroll down here. And the Church of England has a large endowment of $8.7 billion, which generates approximately $1 billion a year in income. That's based on 2019. $1 billion a year in income. Now, why did I bring that up? Why am I speaking about that? Well, do y'all remember this? I would have spoken about this sometime. As a matter of fact, let me just go open this up. Yeah, let me just go open it. Remember we spoke about this sometime back then too? A place called the Glebe. Yeah, man. Church property, hundreds of acres. We don't even know how much acres this is. It's hundreds, though. Clearly, it's hundreds of acres. And it's just one of which I mentioned. There are actually a lot more. Not to mention the other properties the church owned. My thing, though, since the Anglican Church is an institution for God and whatnot, how the church got so much land that was captured during the time of enslavement and what they call slavery? How did the church get all this property? Just asking for a friend. Because you would think that the church would be doing the right thing through all of this. The truth is, slavery was condoned, it was blessed, and it was ordained by ministers. Slavery was allowed to conduct its affairs in the way and the manner it was allowed to conduct. And most, if not all, these plantation owners would have been parishioners in one of these churches. So it was in the interest of the church to keep these guys happy because they kept bringing in the coffers and the money and whatever other things they brought to the church, including the altar boys. And I'm going to leave that at that. The point I want to make, though, is that this is 2022, though, and if don't nobody want to tell the church anything, the church has to come up off of that land. All of it. Since we want to move Nelson statue, look, I give thanks, family. Since we want to move Nelson statue because of what it represents, and they made it clear, the government of Barbados made it clear that they support the idea of moving some colonial things that were in our way. One of the other things is that church, the Anglican Church, got all this land that belongs to the people of this country, though. The nation of Barbados, we want our land back, man. That's it. You got to come up off the church. Why isn't anybody telling the church that they got to give up the land? I'm asking for a friend. Let's start with the glebe. Oh, look, everybody who owned property, well, I don't know. Let me not even say it that way. Let me put it this way instead. People who live in the glebe, who might dwell in the glebe. If you're paying a mortgage for your property, stop paying it. Stop and give me a call. Let me tell you exactly what to do. You think I'm joking, right? Let me show y'all, man. I can make them call me. Watch this. Look. Man, number right there on the screen. Tell a friend and tell a friend. 246-838-8253. Holla at me. If you got property in Draxall, you don't have to wait to the court of Barbados get reparation from Mr. Drax. Nobody cares about Mr. Drax, the third or the fourth generation. No one cares. If you're living on any part of Draxall Plantation, if you're living on any of the property that they call the glebe, or any other property that belongs allegedly to the church, holla at me. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Stop paying your mortgage, man. Stop paying mortgage. If you rented from somebody, call and tell them, listen, give this guy a call. I want back all my rent. Give me a holler. I'm going to tell you what to do. The glebe. Let me show y'all something else, man. So this is what I did the research last time, and we got this. So we discussed this, of course, and you know what? Let me go back here first. Y'all remember this as well because in this same particular presentation, I pulled up a document. Let me just go get it real quick. Let me go get it right here. I pulled up this document if y'all can remember. Yeah, Barbados, chapter 375, dealing with the Anglican Church, 1969 to 65, and the Barbados Parliament. This document right here. Y'all remember this document, right? Y'all do remember this document? Okay. So while I'm here doing my research tonight, I go to pull this document back up, figuring why not? Let's go pull it up, share with the people. So I did my search, typical, you know, and I type in what I would normally do, Barbados Constitution Anglican Church, fair enough, and stuff came up. Yeah, Barbados Parliament Law.com, seen right there, clear as day. Let me just make it a little bit clearer for those who might be visually challenged. It's right there. So I went ahead and I clicked on it. I clicked on it once, twice, 3 times. It didn't open. So I figured I would wait. And I would wait. You know, sometimes it take a little while, you know, because some systems are slow. So I figured it might be on my end. So I waited, I clicked it, nothing happened. And I waited, nothing still happened. And I'm waiting. And then this comes up. So I'm like, yo, wait, hold up. What's this? This site cannot be reached. I said, well, the website is clear. It took too long to respond. I said, well, that sounds a little strange. It said, check with proxy and firewall, you know, or running Windows network diagnostics. So I decided to run a diagnostics. I decided to run one in case, you know, it's my fault. In case it is my fault. So I'm running this diagnostics. I'm running this. While I'm running this, I can't do nothing else but let this run its course. So since I clicked on it, I gotta let it run its course. So I figured the problem is on my end. All right. Long story short, though, family, and maybe if you can find this, maybe it's me. Go type that in. If you can find that page, go click on it. Please click on it and let me know. Let me know what you found because I wasn't able to find anything. As a matter of fact, nothing came up. And when it did troubleshoot, my troubleshooting has completed. It said your computer appears to be correctly configured, but the device or resource, which is Barbados Parliament-law.com, is not responding. So, it ain't me, it's them. So, I mean, okay, no problem at all. I said, okay, all right. You don't want to open up. Let me go click on the other one. Basically, the same thing happened again, family. I'm not even going to click on it. The same thing basically happened again. And I was like, okay. I see what's going on, man. I see what's going on. So I don't know if you can find those documents anymore. But that particular document that I had shared at the time, if y'all can remember, it had outlined pretty much a lot of the properties the church allegedly owned or claimed to have owned. Now, I think it's only right that Cardinal College, the place where they have the seminar and the people affiliated with that whole organization, be honest enough to recognize that it's time to give out the land, though. And I'm saying, family, stop asking for stuff, man. Stop begging for stuff. It's time we just take this thing to another level. Learn the laws, learn legality versus legalese versus lawfulness, because they're all different. Don't mind they trick us with this foolishness. Learn what's happening, understand what's happening, and take your rightful place. Take your rightful place, man. So somebody said he's right. Church on almost up to the polyclinic. It's a fact. The polyclinic is on the property. The polyclinic is on the property. If you go back to the map real quick, and let me just make this. The polyclinic is right here. You see the polyclinic right there? Yeah, that outlining area. That's the property that is owned allegedly by the church. that outline, that whole outline area right that you see. It's considered the glebe. Go Google it. Look, Glebe Land, Barbados. Just Google it. This is official Google map. Go Google it, and they're going to show you. This is official Google map. If I go out some more, you'll see this is Barbados right here. And right there, that whole chunk right there. So, and there's a whole lot more sites across the island. So, yeah, though. These are the things that going on right here in Barbados. What time is it? Oh, man. And going on in Barbados. But again, family, we have not been paying attention. We have fallen into this thing hook, line, and sinker. And unfortunately, it has not worked out in our favor. You know, I had another one that I think was also very relevant, and it was called The Democracy of Hypocrisy, which is not hypocrisy of democracy, a democracy of hypocrisy. Can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up, family. I think you can't make this stuff up. Go check this stuff out. You cannot make it up. You got to go watch this stuff. There's so much information, man. So much. It's unbelievable sometimes when I think about it. So here we go. As a matter of fact, let me switch it up totally. Let me just go right here to the original page and pull this up. Let's do this instead. Let's go here.
What is plutocracy? Etymologically speaking, the word plutocracy comes from the two Greek words, plautus, which means wealth, and kratos, which means rule or power. Plutocracy, therefore, literally means rule by the wealthy. Formally defined, plutocracy refers to a form of government that is controlled exclusively by the wealthy, either directly or indirectly. As we can see, plutocracy can result in policies exclusively designed to assist the wealth or serve their interest. Put differently, plutocracy describes a recognized type of government, such as democracy, communism, or monarchy, that either intentionally or by circumstance allows the wealthy to control most political and economic aspects of the society. Plutocracy can be created either directly by enacting economic policies advantageous to the wealthy, like investment tax credits, or indirectly by making vital social resources, such as education and health care, more easily accessible to the wealthy than to the less financially advantaged classes. However, it is important to note that while plutocracy might be found to some degree in all forms of government, it is far more likely to become permanent in those that do not allow regular free elections, such as totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and fascism. In democratic countries, the people have the power to vote plutocrats out of office. While the first recorded use of the term in English dates to 1631, the concept of plutocracy has been present since ancient times. As early as 753 BCE, the Senate of the Roman Empire was controlled by a group of aristocrats, whose wealth afforded them the power to elect local government officials and dictate new social policies. Other examples of historic plutocracies include pre-World War II Japan under Emperor Hirohito, and the Kingdom of France before the French Revolution of 1789.
Well, all I'm going to say is that when it comes to Rome, everything changed after Rome changed it. Everything. From languages, politics, economics, everything changed, family. That's why there's the Pope of Rome. That's why there's the Roman Catholic. We in Rome, family. No matter how you try to formalize it in your mind, all these countries, what we call countries, bear in mind, these are words they gave us. Well, we are a country. So we assume that that meant the land. The word country does not mean the land because, for example, what we call Hispaniola or Haiti is one land, but two countries. You got the DR on one side and you got Haiti on the other side, but it's one land mass. So the word country does not mean the land mass. So then what is a country? What is really a country? Think about it. Man, look, man. The best part, like I said, though, they said they have the right to vote them out. But this thing called voting has gone to a new level, family, whole new level. But it's a matter for us recognizing going forward where we're going to be and what we're going to do. Like I said, family, there's so much stuff that we can go through from this whole section alone. I mean, I didn't realize it. Sitting here 3 nights a week having these conversations with you, I didn't realize it. I don't realize it. I just come forward and do what the Spirit, say to do. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm always going to look at it. Just do the works. Despite all, I remember this video right here, and I think it's only right. I mean, is there no hope for the widow's son? Is there no hope? Is there no hope? I see you.
I really ain't got nothing against him. I love the initials M-A-N. I really do. But when you give one person 24 million at Valerie, 28 million at the Grotto, 50-something million in Berg 5, another 40-something, 50 million in equipment at the port, an acre or two to run a cement factory from. Cement entrepot, not factory. Import and distribute. And then you have him in pole position for the other 200 million. 200 million in Berg 6. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, you can't even give the few taxi men the trams to move the tourists from the boat to the terminal. But he now owns, same man, all the trolleys, all the trams carrying the tourists. But you got taxi men can't get $100 in fare when they come down there. And then you give him all the acreage at Coverley for 1,100 houses that was owned by the National Housing Corporation, where he can earn over $100,000 per house. And then you give him 5 acres up there at $100 a year for him to collect in excess of $100,000 a month in rent. And then you turn around and you give him Bushy Park. And then you turn around and give him 2,300 lots at Bushy Park that we have not told the country about yet before. Another 2,300 lots at Bushy Park. Mr. Madam Deputy Speaker, knows the man who...
All I go is say, right, family? Boris can't be a real place. How could you listen? Like I said, governed by ruled by the wealthy. Just by calculation alone, we're talking about at least $350 million already. Just the contract part. We're not even dealing with the amount of land that they said was given. Listen to me carefully. Remember I told you all Crown land can be given, leased, or granted to you, right? He clearly receiving Crown land that's being given, granted, $100 a year is what he has to pay. $100 a year, but he started to collect over $100,000 in rent. Listen, man. Look, man. Hold up. Let me put it up again, man. If you want to know how to make this happen, the number on the screen. I'm tired telling you. I don't even think I should be saying this anymore, man. Really and truly. I think I said enough. Man. You just heard out of the mouth of our prime servant. You just heard it yourself. We didn't even tell him about the other how many houses that he was given that we didn't even tell the public yet. But did that not come to be manifested when the brother showed us the land up Christchurch that was gifted, apparently, up there by, I think, Inch Marlow or Boggs or something up that side. I can't really name the place up that side though. But shout out to the brothers who up Christchurch and St. Philip, man. I be putting in the work, man. Yeah. Somebody talk to me, man. Talk to me, man. Hello, anybody out there in TV land and cyborg space, man? Anybody out there in cyborg space paying attention? What a year in review. Is there no hope? No mercy? No love for the widow's son? Man, look, man, what time is it? Let me see if I can pull one or two more things out of this rabbit hat here. Like I said, family, man, there's a lot of stuff on this page. Feel free to go back and review. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of information. I couldn't believe it. I mean, bear in mind again, I haven't even touched GIS and Wilfred Abram and the many stories we were told. Anyhow, what I would say is this. The reason why we look back is to know where we came from in order to know how we're going forward. You know, that's what it is, to know how we're going forward. And I think right now, it's important to definitely know how we're going forward in light of all that's happening. One of the most profound videos, I'm going to pull this one up right here, that we would have seen, although it was barred. Let me put this up here. It was kind of barred. This was banned, I think, on YouTube originally, and I think they eventually let it go because of some of the things that Paul. By the way, shout out to Dr. Paul Alexander, putting in work, always putting in work. Him and his team. If you haven't seen this one regarding the vaccine and the young people, he made it clear by making it very clear.
I know I spoke to Emmanuel and time is on restraint for everyone. So let me get straight to the point. Again, right. I want to talk about these things and I want to talk about masks and the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
As clear as I could be.
Right.
2.5 years ago or so, we started these lockdowns in our society. I just explained to you, we've published repeatedly, we've been on all of the news programs globally. None of the lockdowns work. They were illogical, irrational, and absurd.
All right. So like I said, a lot of stuff was said. If you haven't seen this one, go check it out. In fact, I'm going to put that link up directly for those who are interested. Yes, they made the changes recently and they said, well, you ain't got to do it anymore. You ain't got to do this anymore, that anymore. We've been saying this now for such a long time. Everything they're telling you now, we already told you. And the funny thing is, when we were telling you this, they tried to make it look like we were telling lies. Conspiracy theorists. You know, these guys are crazy. Shout out to Bonga Lights and the Mama, by the way. And Rastafari Progressive Movement. Shout out to Marcy Weeks as well. Everybody else putting in work, sharing the knowledge. Because we've been saying this for a while. Everything they're doing now, everything they say, don't worry about now. We've been saying this for how long? And nothing has really changed. The situation is still the same. No one arrested this so-called virus and locked it in some sealed cage and dropped it in the middle of the ocean in the depths of the abyss. We're still living with it. The situation is still the same. People still going and coming all day, every day. And what? Now all of a sudden, it's funny how people have the flu again, which is the strangest thing because during the whole thing, you ain't never heard nobody talk no flu. No doctor talked about a flu. As a matter of fact, the doctor said the flu probably got wiped out because of that. Now the flu is back. Yeah, that flew over some people's head. I don't even know how. Anyhow, let me just go check Paul out. Brother putting in work, like I said. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that can be done. There's a lot of stuff that can be said. But I think it's best that you, when you find the time, go ahead and just visit the page, click on videos. There's just so much to be seen, so much to be heard. We're not even going to talk about the school situation with the tests, the so-called tests. I think that's the latest, and I would have to touch that. I cannot not touch that one, even in passing. I think what it was is that we had a conversation. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I think this is it here. Hang on. There was a clip on the media. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it because it was played. Let me cue it up. Yeah. Let me just pull this up. Let me pull this up. I had to touch this one, family, and that's for obvious reason, because about the children. I cannot go through the whole year and not touch on the things that mostly affect the children, because if it was one thing you noticed in 2022, and that's that a lot of these events that were unfolding were directly or indirectly having an impact on the children, and they affected our children. And this was probably the worst thing that could have possibly happened. And I want y'all to listen again to what was said earlier. No longer. And we're asking you, diplomacy first, to respectfully step down. That's what integrity is for. That's what it's about. That's the Minister of Education. And it was the Minister of Education and the chief at the time. Hold on. And let me go share this, man. The funny thing is, let me go share this. The report's supposed to be out, but I didn't hear a thing.
The Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training unreservedly accepts that, in the final analysis, it must take responsibility for the unfortunate exposure of some of our secondary school children to questions that offended them, their parents, and other stakeholders in our education system. Notwithstanding the fact that the Inter-American Development Bank, which administered this survey, has already apologized for its failure to honor a prior commitment to the ministry to remove the offending questions before placing them before the children, the ministry now tenders its own apology. Clearly, what has transpired has left us in no doubt that we took too much for granted in not vetting the final survey. The ministry now assures all stakeholders that the offensive scripts will be destroyed and there will be no further use of the survey without our explicit and complete scrutiny. More importantly, the ministry has already started the process of reforming its own policy on data collection in our schools to ensure that incidents such as this are never repeated. The interests, safety, and the protection of the rights of our children remain our top priority. The Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, however, assures parents that it maintains confidence in the overall purpose and aim of the Code.org project, which includes the effective development of computer science skills among first-year secondary school students. This project, of which the survey is a critical component, is being conducted by Code.org under the auspices of the Inter-American Development Bank. In response to the issues raised by some parents of children from 5 secondary schools where the survey was conducted, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training stopped the administration of the survey immediately and held meetings yesterday, the 5th of October, 2022, with representatives of the IDB. In these meetings, the IDB representatives acknowledged that in a number of meetings held previously to discuss the implementation of the survey, representatives of the Ministry of Education had expressed strong concerns about both the length and content of the survey document, and it was agreed that there would be modifications to the document. The statement issued last night by the IDB speaks to this. In order to further address the adverse reaction to this issue, the Ministry of Education has scheduled meetings for today with principals of secondary schools, as well as with parents of the first-year students who participated in the study. Be assured that this ministry will take whatever action is necessary to protect our children. We will provide programs like the computer science programs in the project being implemented that allow our children to develop skills and competencies that help them to become world-class citizens.
World-class citizens. Man, all I gonna say right now, family, wait, they said they schedule meetings with the parents of the children. I don't ever remember hearing any parent said that they had a meeting with the ministry regarding that. I mean, I ain't never heard that. If somebody is a parent of one of these children who went to a meeting, look, the number on the screen, give me a call. Give me a call. Area code 246-838-8253. Holla at me, man. Let me have a conversation. I would love to know what that conversation was about. If that's providing they actually did that. I don't remember hearing that. But I said it to say that so much has happened this year. And where does this put us now, family? Where does this put us? It puts us in a place where even the Queen passed away. I mean, so much things happened. We had the protests. So much things happened. And yeah, so much happened. So much happened. And where we are today, after all this was said and after all was done, where are we today? Anyhow, let me just go ahead and wrap this up. Let me just say this, family. Shout out to Brother Lincoln Bain, by the way, also. All our guests for the year. We had a few people came on here this year from different places. Definitely want to shout out to everybody who made it possible. Man, I mean, it was only right. Good timing. Shout out to Martin Ford as well, who made it possible as well. Dr. Veronica. I mean, the whole, y'all already know, man. So many people, too many to mention, I suppose. Nevertheless, though, family, let me just say this here while I am scrolling through. The year in review, if I say nothing else, I say this. 2023, the year of prosperity, I've been saying it for a while now, and I want y'all to take this really serious. You know, really. The interviewer, Reverend Atherley, definitely, I agree. Atherley was definitely positive. He shared, he was cautious, expectedly. John Enuma and his wife as well, they came to Barbados, put on a session, was interesting. It's about connecting dots, man. It's about connecting dots. Shout out to the elder professor, also from, what's that called? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Professor James Small, you know, he came through, also bless us with the knowledge, give thanks. You know, we had a lot of people here. Like I said, these interviews are all available. Feel free to go check them out. And the knowledge that was shared is there. This thing with the land and the Crown Land family, like I said, I can't find those documents anymore. They're missing. If you can go and click on those links I showed you, Google it and find it, send me a message again. Feel free. The number's on the screen. WhatsApp me, send me the link, whatever. And let's just check it out, man. Let's check it out. But definitely, more importantly than this, is everyone who tuned in, everyone who shared, everyone who didn't share. I appreciate your time anyhow. Those who watch to learn, those who contribute, those who watch to spy, you're still learning. You can't unlearn the things you heard. It's just reality. And I sincerely hope that some of these seeds that were scattered fall on good ground and in good time, in due season, bring forth fruit according to the season. So that's where we at. 2023. There's plans going forward. Like I said, there's going to be some changes, a lot of changes actually, even in terms of the focus of the program. I think I've said everything that needs to be said already. We're going, pushing the clutch. We're going to another level now, family. And we're going to be manifesting this. We're going to be talking about how to manifest it. We're going to be showing you how it's manifested and bringing people that have already manifested their destiny to show you how to do that for yourself. I've already had conversations with a few people. I'm excited about it. Oh man, I try to keep the lid on it, trying my best. But they say in Barbados, don't say a word till the ink dries. So that's where we at, family. Having said that, man, tomorrow night is the whole fireworks and stuff. According to the calendar they follow, we know that. We're not splitting hairs. But for those who observe and reflect and take time to take stock, recalibrate. It's a season upon us now that requires us to be more in tune, be more focused. Stay focused and stay in tune. Everything is about to change, man, for the better. It's perspective. So you got to be able to see it. Don't never see the negativity. See the good in it. A lot of things are happening around to keep you distracted on many levels. Yes, they're there, but stay focused on your goals, your objectives, family first, rebuilding, restoring, restoration time. The year of restoration, man, is upon us. You know what I mean? 2023 is 4 and 3 is 7. It's a year of 7. It's a year of 7. Divine number, God number. Manifest God in your life. That Christ consciousness, that divine self, that vibration that sets you apart from the rest, that allows you to walk on water. That kind of stuff we're talking about. And by walking on water, understand what the water symbolizes. But we're going to get into all this stuff, though. 2023 is a different reality, family. Yeah. I see you. Yeah, family. We gonna get it together, man. We gonna get it together. I gotta pull a tune. I'm trying to figure out what tune could I possibly play that would be fitting. So I said I go into the playlist, man. I gotta go into the playlist. But if it's the one tune that we have always played here on Politically Incorrect, and y'all know this tune, y'all know the anthem. I ain't gotta tell y'all. Those who don't know by now you would think you would know. It's the tune. I ain't gotta tell you, family. All about the dynasties what we're dealing with, family. All the man. For a long time, family, we've been saying it from the jump. This tune has been played more times than any other song on this program. Why? Because there isn't a song, family. A message. Listen. Get it together. Reunite yourself, your family, friends. Have a plan. And rise to your occasion, family. That's right.
We've been down in the valley much too long. We've been down
to everybody
in
on
the
Politically Incorrect.
Oh, so long, yeah. We've been
Those
down
who came new, those who left, those who came forward.
much too long.
Tell a friend, family. Pure
We've been
kinetic energy.
down in humility.
Go to the three queens and
Oh, so
y'all already know.
So rise and shine and win your liberations. For now's the time.
Now is the time.
When all nations must be free.
Right.
Rise and shine. Restore your strength
and power.
Waste no more time. Remember your history.
Shout out to Allison Hines too. Shout out to Allison Hines, man. Day in the life of Allison Hines. Beautiful interview. Shout out to Adrian Green.
We've been down in a separation much too long. We've been down in humiliation oh so long. Yeah. We've been down in a condemnation much too long.
Much too long, family.
We've been down in a segregation oh so long.
The power that came and told us
Rise and
General, man.
shine as the morning sun that's
Go down the Auditor General report, man.
international morality time.
Make it make sense, no?
Mankind must be born anew.
Power.
Rise and shine for the sake of the younger generation.
The younger generation.
Hearts and minds.
All the family from St. Vincent, man. Y'all remain on the rise, man.
We've been down in the valley much too long. We've been down in a poverty oh so long, yeah. We've been down in captivity much too long. We've been down in humility and oh so long. We're
Conversation with a teenager.
in a separation.
Conversation with a teenager, man. Gotta listen to that one, family.
In a tribulation.
So all the youths going through it, man.
We went down in a condemnation.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
And we've been down in a segregation. Oh, so long. Yeah, yeah. We've been down in the valley. Much
Too long, man. Too long.
We've been
Lot of fluff and cover up.
in a poverty.
I used to know it's been
Oh,
good
so
time, man.
long. Yeah. We've been down.
Definitely going forward, Aaron.
Captivity much too long. We've been down.
We've been down too long, family. Too long, family.
Oh, so long.
Too long, family. Rise and shine, man. Like I said, though, family, man. So much. Got caught up watching my own program. I don't usually watch them, but I would watch them earlier. Feel free, family. Everyone else who made this possible, man, who came on, if I didn't call your name, all love, give thanks. 2023 prosperity roadmap coming. You can't call it a real living. You can't call it a real living. Step by step. Go to the whole Caribbean. One Caribbean. One Caribbean. One nation.
Much too long. We've been down in a poverty. Oh, so long.
Have a beautiful night before the rest of the Sabbath. Those observing. And all this
rise and shine, and with your liberations, for now
is the time
when all nations
when all nations, not all countries, countries ain't gonna be free. Not for no digital ID. All nations. Between the lines. Yeah. See y'all next cycle, man. Stay tuned. I used to last the first Empress of their menace. One purpose, balance. Went out tomorrow. Can't be good, be safe. Yeah. Yeah, one. Guidance to you, brethren.
Oh, so long.